What's up, my podcast listeners? This is your host, Rafal Matuszewski, and this is Cut the Shit Get Fit. I might have already said that, and I might have already fucked up this episode. And funny enough, this is episode 500. Holy shit. It's kind of a surreal feeling because to me, it kind of feels like it's, just another episode. And it's kind of strange because I used to always look forward to big milestones like this. But I think because I've been through this experience before, it just feels like, you know what? Let's crush another episode. Let's keep doing what we do best, because I feel like my show has always been not just about me, but also you guys. So funny enough, like looking back, because there's going to be some throwbacks in this episode, because I think it's always good to kind of look back at where you came from. And not only in any kind of like self-development, but really what's most important is in fitness. Because I think a lot of us, when they go down this rabbit hole of like, okay, I'm going to make, my health a priority. I'm going to, try to go to sleep earlier. I'm going to try to exercise more. I'm going to eat more vegetables, eat more protein. All those things will accumulate over time, and you'll feel like you won't be actually moving an inch forward because you've implemented all of these things and you don't see the dramatic success that you envisioned. But if we actually took the time to, compose ourselves and really think about where we came from, you'll quickly realize that we've gone through a lot, we've achieved a lot, and that being said, I actually have my first ever episode queued up on my phone. I was trying to figure out how I was going to play it, with my laptop recording with my microphone and my camera on my phone filming it, so I had to use my other phone to play it. And you know what's really interesting, what I learned is I was like, okay, I'm just going to go on Spotify and I'm like going to scroll through, and I can't go to episode 1. It's so weird. It only took me up to like episode 70 or so. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't go any further. And I was like, okay, well, maybe like Apple Music will allow me to do this. And same thing. So I have like at least 70 episodes where you guys won't be able to like access it unless I went on SoundCloud and I was able to scroll all the way through. But I might have to like resurface, from the archives of these episodes, because they were really good, and like the people that I interviewed, So that's kind of a side thought, but with that, it also like destroyed my battery. Not destroyed, but like, drained it like crazy. But first episode, before I even get to it, some context. One, I recorded this on June 7th. Well, maybe I didn't record it. I posted it on June 7th, 2016. That's a long time ago. Let's just say that. It's been a fucking ride. And if you are one of my followers and listeners since the very beginning, you have known how much I have progressed in my confidence, how I speak, how I, project now, because I can't like quiet down. I just always get louder and louder. But for those who haven't gone that far back or listened to me for at least a year or two, this is going to be really rough, not only for myself, but also for you. And this is what I mean about looking back of how far you've come. And to be honest, I don't think I've re-listened to my first episode ever. I don't think I've ever re-listen. I literally just recorded it. I was like, that's it. I'm going to put it out on the internet and hopefully no one makes fun of me. And so this is going to be really, really weird for me, and also really interesting to see how this goes. And again, I've said this on my show before, but to put it in context, when I recorded these, I was so embarrassed to speak about fitness and health because I just felt like I was going to be judged. And the amount of anxiety that I had trying to film these was like through the roof, to a point where I felt so embarrassed that I literally went into my closet, shut the door, and then in the dark recorded my first episode. And when I got out, I was like, holy shit, this is going to change a lot. And I'm going to stop reminiscing about that, but I feel like I had to do a disclosure statement, but hopefully you guys can hear this. Oh yeah, my first ever, preview song.
Hello everyone. This is the first official episode of the Cut the Shit, Get Fit podcast. My name is Rafael Matuszewski, and I'll be your host throughout this journey. This first episode, I really want to focus on letting you know who I am and what I do, and kind of share...
Okay, I had to stop it there because I actually remembered that small little intro. I remember fucking it up so many times that I couldn't re-record it because I kept stumbling. So I cut half of it, and then the other half was me redoing it again. But oh my god, okay, let's do the whole thing, but let's just see what else we get.
My story of how I lost all my weight and how I kept it off and what that meant for me, and ultimately turned into my own professional career as a personal trainer to help as many people as possible that went through the same struggle as me. So let's start off with, I'm a personal trainer, like I said before.
I can't figure out my own thoughts on this.
I think 6 or 7 years. And I started, training at a big box gym, and then started training at a more boutique in-person personal training studio. And then sadly that place...
Let's skip through it a little bit. Come on.
During summer, as a kid in high school, usually you spend your summers laying in bed until noon and then playing video games.
This is where I started getting my flow.
Going to the mall with your buddies and just eating like shit. But I did not want to do that. So I was like, perfect. I got workouts ahead of me, and now I'm going to fuel my body where I'm going to lose all this freaking weight. I was not, I waited around for 14 years to be the fat kid. I did not want to do it anymore. So I told myself, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this at 100% and never look back. So when I came back to school in grade 10...
All right, I'm going to stop it there because there's a couple things I want to talk about. So one, you can hear how monotoned I was. There was no excitement. There was no passion yet. You know what I mean? There was just me talking like this because I was going to fucking die in that hole of a closet because I wasn't embarrassed about nothing. That's how I spoke. But the one big thing that I noticed, and this is something again, I'm going to gear it to weight loss and fat loss in no time. This is the stuff that you need to look back at and see how you developed as a person. So when I was listening to that, one, I was embarrassed But at the same time, it's like a refreshing feeling to see how far I came. And in the beginning, it was rough. Like, my ears were bleeding and I was sweating out of my ass knowing that you guys are going to hear that. But the moment I got into my story of how I got into this industry and where I am today, you could tell there was a switch. There was a like night and day, like, here I am and I'm going to give you my story. Right? And I think that's the biggest thing. Excuse me. For me, listening to that show, that episode, which is like 17 minutes in length, where my passion will eventually develop into what I'm doing right now. And to be honest, I thought that episode was going to be a lot worse than it was. But you could tell I had a purpose. You could tell that I was genuine. And 500 episodes later, here I am feeling the same way, almost the same way at the end of that episode. So in the beginning, when I was recording it, I wanted to die. But at the end of it, I knew that the moment I clicked save and let the file export into an audio file, I knew I was starting something special. I knew I was starting a movement. I knew I was starting to connect with so many people around the world to help them. Because in the later episodes, like episodes 1 through 5, I go through my story of how I felt trapped, depressed, kind of in this like pit where I couldn't get out, being overweight. And I knew that I had to provide some sort of connection with other people who might be going through the same thing to let them know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So looking back at that episode just kind of gives me that feeling of like, holy shit, like, look how far I've come. My podcast, and I just checked this like maybe yesterday, that I'm almost at 600,000 listens overall. That's 600 times where somebody listened to my voice and wasn't like, I fucking hate this guy, his voice is annoying, and then was like, oh shit, he actually speaks some common truth and maybe is going to be the thing that pushes me to continue or be consistent. So how I'm going to bring this back to why we need to look back at where we come from, or came from rather, is these are the things that are going to keep you motivated, right? My show has always been about fitness and health and weight loss, rehab, strength, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, my show is about motivating you to do something, like take action. It doesn't have to be for your health, it's just taking action. So when I hear people on my Instagram reach out to me, read their DMs, saying like, hey man, I started listening to your podcast, I can't stop listening to it, like every episode has been like just getting me going, like that's what this is. All of us will have a moment in our lives, and this is going to happen multiple times, where we have this high of motivation, where we're like kicking it in the gym, getting our meals done, sleeping better, like you name it. And then all out of the sudden, all that's gone. And getting out of bed is hard. And waking up early is hard to get your workout in. And you start sliding a little bit. You start going down the ladder of the snakes, like snakes and ladders. It was a lame joke. And you feel kind of helpless. But then I've had people listen to my show and they're like, you know what, I was in a really dark place. Not saying that, losing motivation gets you in a dark place, but I've had people reach out about this and they're like, for some reason, when you talk, I get out of it really quick. And that's probably the most satisfying return on investment about this podcast, and is one of the reasons why I haven't reached out to any advertisers, haven't reached out to sponsors or anything. I've been literally doing this since 2016 for free. Literally, as I'm recording this right now, it is a Sunday, my day off, and I've been doing podcasts since 2016 like this, where, I take the time to set up all my stuff, making sure I have everything ready to go. So there's that prep time, and then I actually sit down and talk. And over the years, it's evolved to more things, and all of that takes time. And all of it is worth it when I get people messaging me, emailing me, saying that, hey, I was in a really dark place and listening to your show really got me out of it. Like, that is so fucking huge for me and is my motivation to keep going with this thing. So I don't think I'm ever going to retire this podcast. It's going to evolve over the years because as humans in general, we evolve into other things. And that's why you'll see that my podcast kind of evolved into now video. I've been doing more video stuff, more demos, more rehab-based stuff because we're all in pain. And who knows what's going to be next? Maybe I do a business segment. Maybe I'll do a career or personal development. Like, who knows what I'm going to do next? Because my brain is constantly going. I always have stuff on the go. And if you knew me well enough, you would know that I don't ever fucking stop. God, my throat is so dry because I talk way too much. Where was I going with that? I'm just like in this weird headspace right now after listening to that episode. It is so strange to me to listen to that because honestly, I haven't listened to any of my old stuff. But my number one thing from listening to that and knowing that before I got into this recording is that I have to bring back some archived episodes that you guys can't even reach. And I might, just for the fun of it, take those first 5 episodes, put them all together and really re-release them. But the other big thing is, if you have been going on and off trying to make fitness and health a priority, take a time to sit down, literally sit down, close your eyes, and visualize, literally visualize where you started, where you came from, and what you have done to this point. You need to give yourself a little bit more credit. And this is where now I'm going to lead into the main meat and potatoes of this podcast episode for the 500th episode, because we're going back to the roots. We're going back to how to be successful in fitness and health for 2022. I have put out some episodes recently about consistency, patience, focusing on little things. When is it bad enough? Like all my old episodes. But over the last couple of years, I've picked up a lot of new things for myself because, again, like I said, we evolve. And I want to share like several things. I honestly, I have not prepared anything for this episode because I do my best work where I just speak from the heart. When I prepare in air quotations here, when I prepare for my episodes, I just think of a general sense of where I'm going to go. So today, as I was walking my dog, I was like, what am I going to talk about on my episode today? And I was like, I'm going to share everything I've learned the last couple years that has transformed my fucking life. Not only fitness and health, but also mentally, spiritually, physically, like everything. So my number one thing that I've learned and appreciate so fucking much is the power of walking. This might sound very, very, very stupid, but people tend to forget our bodies are meant for movement, right? I've been harping on that so much, so much. And the last, I would say, year, I've been so consistent on walking almost every single day with my dog without listening to music, without my phone, without distraction, and just being alone with this, my own thoughts. And the amount of mental clarity that I have achieved this last year, holy shit. If you took an audit of a regular day, I guarantee you, you do not have 1 minute where you're alone with your own thoughts to work shit out. We are all reactive every single fucking day. Always reactive. So what does that mean? We're literally in a state of stress all the fucking time. If we were reacting, we don't have anything that's keeping us down here, right? Every time I walk my dog, there's something that clicks. That's something that preps me for the day. It's like, I can't explain it, but for example, my book that I put together, all of that content, the reason why it is what it is because of my walks. Being able to have time in my own head, I start questioning things that I'm currently doing. I start troubleshooting things in my brain. I start asking myself the right questions. If I have a problem at work, a problem with my business, a problem with friends, a problem with my partner, any problem, I have now time to play out scenarios of how I can fix these things, how I can get the outcome that I want, get the outcome that we both want. Like, really think about it. The moment you wake up, you have responsibilities to do right away. You have to get your kids ready for school. You have to check your emails right away to make sure the world didn't explode when you were sleeping. You have to pack lunches. You have to walk your dogs, meaning go outside, pee, poop, and now I'll come right back in. And now I'm driving to work. I'm dropping my kids off. I'm at work. I'm stressed out for 8 to 10 hours. Now I'm driving home to pick up the kids. Now I'm driving the kids to soccer practice. Now I'm picking them up. We're back at home. We're making dinner. We're eating dinner. We're watching a movie. We're watching a TV series. It's fucking midnight. Now I'm back to sleep. And we do that all the time. And then what do we do on the weekends? We're so fucking tired of that grind, that hustle, that we try not to do anything. We try to stop our brain from working. We either consume too much alcohol or substances or binge watch a show the entire weekend, and then we wonder why we don't feel fulfilled in our own fucking life. Man, I did not think that this episode was going to go like this, but fuck, this is good. If you practiced mindfulness, fuck, I really hate that word, because mindfulness just sounds so tacky because all these life coaches online always use it, but being just with yourself. Like, say you have a moment in the car by yourself, and before you open the door to go to work or go to school or go to your house, close your eyes, set a timer on your phone for a minute, and just be with yourself. You will find that stuff starts running through your brain, and then you're going to be like, you know what? I could probably save more money if I did this thing. You know what? I could probably go to sleep 15 minutes earlier if I just did this thing. You know what? I could probably work out during this time when my kids have this thing. Like, our brains are capable of so many great things. They're able to problem solve. But what if we take away that ability to problem solve and we don't have that power anymore. Like, that's our superpower as humans, is we can problem solve, you know? And I think that's one of the biggest struggles in our society today. We don't have time or carved out enough time to be alone with our own thoughts. Like, for me, this has been a game changer. And I look back at this last year, and like most of you, have probably gone through so much shit. Like, the last, honestly, like 3 years have been like complete bullshit. But having time to process your feelings, your thoughts, it gives you a lot more clarity and perspective, you know? Oh, man. Power of walking. If you're not doing it right now, start fucking doing it. I guarantee you, if you start walking every day, even if it's for 10 minutes without any distraction, no phone, no music, no nothing, just you, in nature, your dog, or if you don't have a dog, just fucking go walk outside. One, you're already improving your health. Two, you're improving your mental health. Just go do it. There's no regret if you do this. The second thing that has improved my life so much is the last probably 3 years, I've been really focusing on doing something active for at least 30 minutes every single day. I used to do 1 hour workouts. I would be exhausted by the end of it because I really want to push myself. I get way too sore. The next day, my legs or my pecs or my back is so sore and I don't want to fucking move. And I'm like, oh, I need to work out again today, and I don't look forward to it. Just like this whole motivation piece that I said in the very beginning. Eventually it fizzles out. And then okay, so I had to stop because I ran out of storage because I was talking too long. Going back to what I was saying, and sorry that the camera angle changed and it's weird, but changing my workouts to 30 minutes has changed my perspective on exercise so much. More is not better. Finding just the right amount is all you need. So I think that's a huge barrier for a lot of people when it comes to fitness and health, is that they feel like I have to do long workouts, I have to, do a full hour, I have to be sweating and crying by the end of my workout, and if that's not the case, then it's not worth it, So ever since I, changed to 30 minutes, like, my strength has improved, my recovery's improved, my overall just outlook on life has improved. So what I'm trying to say is, you don't need to do more. You just need to find that, limit of just enough that's going to influence change. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that because they just assume if it's not a full hour, then there's no point of doing it. Like, if you could only muster up doing a warm-up and one set of 3 exercises, then fucking do it. It's better than nothing. It's an all or nothing type of attitude, and people need to get out of that. The third thing that I want to bring up, and I think this is going to be the last thing because I've been talking like crazy. Get your goddamn vegetables in. Holy shit. You know what? I'm going to add another thing to that. This is going to be an all nutrition thing. Eat your damn protein and vegetables. Holy fuck. The last 2 years that I've been having conversations and working with people, they do not eat enough protein or vegetables. If you took an audit of your diet, guaranteed it's a shit ton of carbs and a shit ton of fat. And then you have all these urges to snack because carbs and fat don't fill you up the way that vegetables and protein does. eat your goddamn protein. Like whatever you're eating for protein right now, it's probably safe to say you need to double it, right? General sense is that you need to get 1 gram per body pound of weight. So if you're a person that weighs 200 pounds, guess what? You need to eat about 200 grams of protein. You're probably not getting that at all. So when you put things that in perspective, you have a lot of work to do. It's not rocket science, like just do it. So now imagine if you were eating more protein every day, eating more vegetables every day, walking to get more mental clarity, because a lot of the physical stuff is dictated by what's going on here, and doing some sort of activity, it doesn't have to be the gym, every day for 30 minutes. Those are the keys for seeing every bit of success in fitness and health and in life. That's what I've learned the last 2 to 3 years that has changed my life drastically. So I'm going to leave it there. Take it or leave it, but that's what has been successful for me, for my clients, and the people I work with online. And you'd be surprised how small little changes like that can go a long way. I want to thank every single one of you for supporting my show, supporting my projects, and being here since day one, 10 days ago, a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever you joined me on this journey. Thank you so much. Holy shit, 500 episodes. Who would have thought we would be here? Here's to another 500 episodes. Thank you so much, you guys. Hit the show notes. Add me on Facebook. Add me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because this video is going to be there. And share this podcast with your friends and family. You know, let's grow this thing. Let's get to 1 million listens. Let's get to 1 million followers. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Till next time.